Good morning. I'm not sure it's a great start to be called a veteran, but I think I am. Good morning and welcome to the MRSI seminar. And I'm sure you'll find the next 2 days, of course, very intellectually stimulating, but there will be a lot of reconnections, human connections, new people, and shared camaraderie, and of course, fun in the evening. We have a full agenda, and before we get to the core of why we are here, just wanted to share the immense effort that has gone behind today. And we had more than 100 submissions, and the jury worked tirelessly, and the committee worked tirelessly to actually select 19, which will be presented today. I was thrilled not just to see the new thinking that exists year after year, but the generosity and pride with which we share it at this forum for collective learning to raise the bar of the industry as a whole every year. Having spent nearly 3 decades in the industry, I'm actually often asked why I never explored some other track of career. I think one of the reasons could be that we never had a search engine, so I didn't know, entry salaries across options, but I dare say that was not my main one. Once I found myself as part of the insights and MR industry, I stayed because every day brings something new, and I see my personal contribution having an impact. And all of us, I'm sure all of us have stories where something that we worked on has led to a new innovation, has led to a new advertising, has led to some nugget that actually meets the consumer needs better. Each time that happens, it's thrilling. It's like an aha moment. You get a flutter in your stomach, which makes the deadlines and the madness so worth it. So you get a chance to renew and refresh at a daily level, and I honestly feel that how many industries can credibly claim that? So why should you stay in this industry, and why have I stayed in this industry? I would say there are 3 key reasons. The raison d'etre of being a researcher is first and foremost that we are experts of humans. Their attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors of human is our daily job. This knowledge and this skill will never fade or get old or get jaded. So methods may change, but the core always stays the same. The discovery always reveals something new, fueling our curiosity and keeping the spark alive. We've also often been described, unfortunately, in this forum, in the past as a traditional industry, and I want to completely turn that around. I feel quite passionately about it. So when we take a day-by-day view, we may actually feel that not much has changed, but when we look back and take a view of a few years, over a period of time, actually everything has changed. I'm going to date myself a little bit, but when I started research in 1995, it was an era where we used handwritten acetates to present. I have a decent handwriting, so I probably wrote the acetates for most of the office. And now I can analyze unlimited sort of text in 45 seconds. Who would think that change would have happened then? I think we are cutting edge. I do feel we are cutting edge, and we are always evolving. Our expertise is fueled by technology. Technology doesn't own us. It's evident in the way we capture our data, how we integrate across data sources, how we cut through it and identify patterns that make sense, and also how we deliver and make it come alive. We are cutting edge, always on the cusp of taking our expertise and using tech to fuel it to be faster, better, and not cheaper, or not just cheaper for sure. The difference between research, and this is the third point that I wanted to make, that the difference between research for academia and our industry is that our insights always has to lead to an outcome. It's not for the joy of knowing alone, but our discovery has to fuel growth and has to lead to action. So as researchers, when we start the process of unearthing insights, we need to keep a firm eye on this North Star of how will it get used, what action will be taken, and what will be the outcome. Our mindset always has to be what will lead to an outcome, and dig deeper to find that. I'm also often asked about the role of MRSI, and I may myself have asked this in the past. So I'm going to actually spend some time taking the whole room through what we do at MRSI. But let me start with my own journey. I think my interaction started with MRSI probably in the first week of work in 1995 when I joined the industry. If we wanted to sound just a wee bit less raw, we would avidly read the MRSI book of papers to learn the principles and, most importantly, decode the jargon. It was as much our reference bank as Green and Tull and Wendy Gordon. Soon after, for good performance, it was really a privilege. I was given the chance to attend an MRSI seminar very much like this with 18 months of experience. I came in excited, a little bit in awe of the scale, and too scared to miss even 10 minutes of the session because we had to do a learning session for all those who did not have the privilege to attend. I'm back here roughly 25 years from then, still quite excited and majorly in awe of the scale of this seminar, but perhaps a little less scared to take a break. I think that's the only change. And just a few years ago, I had gone to the then President Praveen and expressed, I think rather strongly, he was quite scared, on why MR is not given its due. And he said, if you feel so passionately, why don't you work with MRSI and help create that change? For me, that was the moment of some shift. From words to action and feeling that the backbench was too passive for me, I became an active part of MRSI. I won't lie, it does take time, and some of the presidents are doing PhDs in the time that they've gained back. But it goes beyond your day job, but it's a real opportunity to shape the focus and give back to the industry. So to all those here today, election is coming up next year. Now is the time to come forward, get involved, and take the baton forward. So MRSI strategy is basically focused on 3 broad pillars. They are of building profile, building pride, and of course, on the platform of building the network and our reach. The effort is as much within the industry as it is external. There is a constant focus also to make sure that our initiatives overall look at the different cohorts that are important to us, and we want to engage with all of them. The role of MRSI is equally that of depth for the industry to be ahead of the curve, drive relevance, provide a platform where we can come together as that of width. As the industry expands and becomes important, it's very, very important and critical to increase its salience across industries and groups that can be leveraged. We have concrete initiatives, and I'll just take you through some of them. I think the first one, I hope all of you are aware of Wednesday webinars, which was started 4 years ago as an initiative to really and gain momentum during COVID, where we brought the industry together to share learnings on how to navigate the new world. This initiative, led by Amitabh Mishra currently, has had a really robust start. The recordings are available to all, so please take some time to go through topics of interest. The second very important initiative is that of ISEC. This is an updation of the respondent classification. The previous classification, NCCS, was introduced in 2011, and we have found that in the current India, it poses the challenges of volatility and less discrimination. ISEC, which has been developed basis the CWE education and occupation, also includes the highest education of the female adult. This parameter was found in conjunction with the CWE to give the most logical cohorts. And finally, we always knew we were a big industry in its reach and now acknowledged in size. To make sure there is a method in this seemingly organic, ever-growing industry, it is critical that we have guardrails that protect the research buyers, the research providers, and I think the most importantly, the data subjects. MRSI has just launched a revamped code of conduct aligned to ESOMAR, which will govern all its members. The key premise is to keep it relevant, updated with emerging sensitivities, protecting the sanctity of shared data, and making sure we're at the forefront of being inclusive in our approach and reach. The PSC committee worked tirelessly to draft the code, which has been adopted by its members. A lot has been done in building the profile of MRSI externally. The key initiatives in this area are the sizing report, the government connects, data protection bill, and Wilder connects with the source of our talent. To start off was a shift in how we did our market sizing from a numerical addition A few agencies turnover historically done like that. We expanded to reflect the true nature and pulse of the industry, including the rapidly growing field of analytics and offshoring. The latest sizing report update, which Prashant will take you through, is going to be released in November 2023, and it tells us that we're a size of $2.9 billion, placing us at rank 3 globally. So I guess size always matters. This is available for free download, and the annual updates are being done, and the full refresh will be in 2025. Being an industry that is significant in presence in India and abroad, with a large part of our services delivered to countries outside India, we recognized that we needed to increase our saliency, not just with the end buyers of that research, but also with the government of India. We had Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal last year at the seminar, if you remember, and he really challenged us to grow twofold, make sure we reach the last woman and man in the smallest village of India at one hand, and also be a key knowledge exporter on the global stage. Subsequent to this, we have started working with Mr. Darpan Jain, the Joint Secretary in the commerce industry, to find mutual ways to promote the industry. He was very keen to be with us today, but had certain national agenda priorities. We are about to sign an MOU with the Service Export Promotion Council, SEPC, and we will work again closely towards common goals. SEPC is keen on actively engaging with MRSI and taking the MR industry forward, and we are part of their 14 industry portfolio. And since we are an export-oriented industry with 75% of our revenue generation out of exports, this makes a lot of sense and is the natural step forward. Various action points have been discussed on the undertaking, and the benefits will be available to all the members of MRSI. I think one of the probably the most important thing that we've done in the last few months was on the new digital personal data protection bill draft, and I'm really proud to say that MRSI had a big impact on that. We proactively engaged with the members and experts to give the right inputs to the government much before it has been introduced. And I am thrilled to say that the Act presented earlier this year took on board several of our submissions. And just as an example, I want to share one input which is really important, which is in our favor, which is that the provisions of this Act shall not apply in respect of the processing of personal data necessary for research, archiving, or statistical purposes if the personal data is not to be used to take any decisions specific to a data principle, and such processing is carried on in accordance with such standards as may be prescribed. I mean, it's legal language, but it actually gives us a lot of freedom to do our daily work, much like we have been doing. As MRSI, we also recognize that we will depend, and this is really an important one, on an ever-growing talent pool. And I'm not saying there's dearth of talent, just look at the room and the numbers that Aman has told us. But the kind of growth we have, there is a need to, of course, widen the pool and get different skill sets as part of our industry. We need a diversified talent who will find their purpose here. Praveen is leading this initiative where we get involved quite early. We shape the curriculum, providing placement opportunities. We share live case studies and invite them to be part of our seminars. They sign an MOU with MRSI, depending which of these are of interest. We're also planning to support summer internship going forward so they get a real sense and flavor of the work we do. As we build the profile, we realize the immense value our industry provides the world. It's dynamic, like I said before, very often cutting edge, global in the reach of our insights, knowledge, and talent. One of the most important endeavors then becomes recognizing this and celebrating the growth and impact. We have 4 key initiatives under this pillar, and this we know through our research that for us as well as for Gen Z, that actually giving back to society is quite important, and Gen Z is quite different from other cohorts because they're quite strong in their views about this. In terms of values, they are more inclusive and concerned about society as a whole. And this is the talent we need to retain and attract. Our community program, the TCP, that invites our young stars to use their craft, their expertise to combine with data needs of NGOs, give their time to help answer the right questions, and steer efforts for maximum societal impact. This was a huge success. That was an event before this, huge success this year. And it was truly humbling to be in the room and see the excitement as well as the generosity and involvement that all the participants exhibited in terms of their time and what they took out of it. The second real property is GKA, which I'm sure all of you are familiar. It's distinct from the seminar like today, which focuses on innovation and thinking. And the GKA really recognizes the great work we do as an industry that drives commercial results. In its 4th year, we have had the highest ever response. It really was the best year, GKA 2022. We have fine-tuned the awards over the years. We learn as we go along, and we added the most humane organization and most effective storyteller award last year. And in the previous, in the one that's just happened, we also included best work in emerging sectors and the long overdue best operations team. As the GK matures, we find the quality gets better, and while it's a really good problem to have, in effect, the difference between those who are winners and those who are not is very, very small. We had 165 entries, all with very, very superior work, significant impact, and great creativity. Often what made the difference was clarity of thinking and communication and hitting the brief for the specific award. We had 14 independent jury panels with a senior provider of research, a senior buyer, and a domain expert. In panels where additional expertise or balance was needed, appropriate senior jury members were added to them. It goes without saying that if a jury member recused themselves from their own company entries. International Market Research Day, which is May 2nd, MRSI celebrates it usually in the second week of May, it celebrates the positive contributions made by data research and inside professionals to guide decision-making by the public and decision makers in businesses, charities, and public services. We join the world to celebrate our special day every year. This year, it was on the theme of research for a better world. Our virtual event included Hemant Malik, Divisional Chief Executive of Foods, on his organization's key initiatives to creating a better world, and a panel with eminent people from advertising, insight, etc., taking on gender stereotyping. At the beginning, I had said that there are 2 North Stars guiding our initiative, that of building profile and pride. It's important to keep another layer of check. Which cohorts are we engaging with, which cohorts are important to the progress of our industry, and how much are we engaging with them? In my view, these are the cohorts that are critical for us. We made very good progress on government outreach, like I just shared, international salience through ESOMAR, IMRD, the sizing report, and we have started good work with the educational talent side, but a lot more needs to be done. The cohorts we need to strengthen is creating a similar representation and opportunity for the industry to connect in at least the key markets of Delhi and Bangalore, and we've got started with the Delhi chapter. The marketing fraternity is another key end user of our work, and we need regular interactions to share our developments as well as understand their burning questions. We will look at regular outreach via a newsletter which is, I think Dikshit is looking at that, and it's going to go out soon, which reaches all the critical cohorts. So this is really the focus for the remaining months of this managing committee. And finally, I hope all of us make the most of today and tomorrow, learn something new, reconnect with our colleagues, rekindle the curiosity which actually makes us stay in MR, with the innovative thinking, and show our real self definitely in the evening, so please stay on for that. I think it's time that we take just a moment to feel the pride and joy in our career of choice and come forward to partner with MRSI to shape our tomorrow. Thank you very much.